Hello folks. I am making a little video here, bringing you some good news and to bring truth to the rumor that the Samsung Galaxy Tab does in fact support an external microphone. So I'm going to do a little demonstration here for you. What you're listening to right now is the Tab's internal microphone, and I'm going to leave that the way it is for the moment, and kind of lead up to what this is, what you need to know as far as technical is concerned. On the Galaxy Tab forum, there's quite a few of them out there, but I think this is the Samsung Galaxy Tab forum. There was a guy who provided us with a pinout of what the jack and the Tab, as far as connectivity is. I don't have your name here, but you know who you are, and thank you for that. The next thing is to come up with some equipment, and I rummaged around here in the office and managed to locate a cable that had a 4-conductor plug on it. And that's what we have right here. 4 conductors. And so what I did is I took an ohm meter and figured out exactly what each one of these conductors represents on the other end. And what this is this cable is used for audio video, typical left and right audio channel and then a video channel, but we're going to use it for testing purposes just to find out which one of these is going to be our microphone. And it turns out that based on the pinout that this fellow provided us with, that the last layer of the plug, last ring, or we want to call it the third ring because the top is the tip, represents our red RCA jack. And this came from a little Mintech DVD player, and I'm going to contact Mintech and see if I can get a couple more of these. Although I prefer to just deal with microphone at this time, so I may make something completely separate. In any case, let's go through the pinout on this thing, and so you understand, if you want to be one of those tech guys and you want to make one up yourself, you know what you're doing. The tip represents the center conductor of the left earpiece. Ring number 1 represents the center conductor of the right earpiece. Ring number 2 represents the common ground for all of your connections. And the final ring, number 3, or sometimes it's referred to as a sleeve, is where your mic signal comes from. And you'll have to excuse me if I keep looking to the right, because I forget that the camera's on the left on this thing. I don't do that many videos. So anyways, there you have it. There's your setup. You've got your tip, which is your center conductor again of your left earpiece. Your ring number 1 is your right center conductor. Ring number 2 is your common ground, and the final ring is where your microphone is. And again, that's represented here on my cable as the red RCA jack. Alright, so there you have it. If you want to make something up, you can. Now what we needed to do is we needed to change this from RCA over to 3.5. So we rummaged up some more connectors, and we have a gender changer here that goes from RCA over to 3.5 monaural. If you can get that kind of in focus there. And then in addition to that, we use just basically an inline connector which goes from 3.5 to 3.5. And so we'll connect all of this together, and basically what we end up having here is a quick little put together cable, and then we can just simply plug our microphone into this end and we're all set to go. I'm going to still look online. There's plenty of manufacturers that have all these various cables that are out there and connectors, and see if we can't minimize some of this. But what we're going to do for you now is we were going to test a headset, but it appears I've rolled over the cable too many times last night in an attempt to make this video, and this morning's taping just didn't go well. But my typical headset, my headset is typical of the most common connections here for RCA, plugging into a PC, for example. And that is, you've got your green for your headset, and your mic is pink. And so it wasn't working this morning, but everything else is working, so I assumed that I kind of crushed it over. On the forum, there is someone who mentioned that they picked up a headset for around 10 bucks, local in their town. Maybe it was a Rite Aid or a Walmart or something like that. And it was a GE headset, and the headset went automatically straight out to a 4-conductor plug. And the model number of that headset is 98974. And it also comes with a lot of little breakout adapters in case you want to split it off, kind of similar to what I just showed you on my headset. I wasn't able to find one local to me, but I found one online, several online, and they're going for like around 20 bucks, so that's not too bad. But what's really exciting here, and we all know that we have some limitations with using the built-in microphone on the tab, and those limitations are that when you're out doing a recording, you got to keep the unit close to you in order to pick up audio. But that may not always be convenient, because what you're taping, what you're recording video-wise, may kind of be a little bit further away, or maybe you want to use a monopod to kind of lift your camera up a little bit higher and get a better shot away from, let's say, the crowd, which is what I do. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate a few little more things that I've got going here that you might find kind of fun. All right. So, with that, the real cool thing is that, well, one of the other limitations is I've got a little black portfolio here that I also got from Verizon for my Samsung. And the deal with that is that when I open the flap, it's covering the microphone from any audio that comes from the beginning, or from the forward part of the unit. So if I'm doing a quick little interview, then the sound is muffled. It picks me up fine, but otherwise it gets muffled. So if I know I'm going to go out and maybe do a recording or a webcast or something like that, then I actually take my tab out and put it into a Rhino case. So that way it's picking up audio no matter what, all the way around, and I don't have anything blocking the microphone per se. And can't remember if I mentioned this. My tab is from Verizon Wireless. It's a little bit thicker one, and it's the 7, not the 7.7 or the 8.9. And I would imagine that those other models, including the 10, all have the same pinout on the jack. But leave it to a manufacturer to change something midway, and so you always got to do a test. So, and doing a test with something like this little cable that I have, it works out really well. I'm just going to get right to it and continue with the rest of the explanation. Instead of using my headset, what I'm going to use is my lapel mic. Now this is a lapel mic on steroids, and this little fella is pretty darn big. I mean, you can judge from the size of my finger here. This isn't something small. It's not huge, but this is great. It's roadworthy, if you will. So if you drop it, it's not just going to break. And I picked this up at Orvac Electronics here in Fullerton for a mere $5. And what is cool about this thing is it comes with literally a 10-foot cable, which is fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and plug this in live so we can get away from the audio recording on the tab to something remote, something you've all been waiting for 9 minutes. So here we go. Alright, there you have it. You're now plugged into the microphone and kind of scruff it there on the table, and you know that we're getting sound out of that. And there you have it, audio coming coming in remotely from into the jack there on the side of the unit. One of the things that you'll kind of run into is different impedances with headset mics or lapel mics or any other type of mic that you want to use. The headset mic that I was using last night actually kind of came in a little tinny. The lapel mic that I'm using right now, our little steroid mic as we'll refer to it, actually comes in a little bit deeper and a little bit more muffled. And it's a directional mic, so if I take it away, you're not going to hear as much sound, and if I bring it closer, then of course it picks up. Incidentally, I tested everything, both using the video in the tab, which I'm going to upload here to YouTube, as well as a audio application that I have here. It's called Clear Record, and any functions that are in that audio application function fine, and they pick up just the same, such as noise reduction, or maybe you're changing the megahertz so that it'll pick up music over standard audio a little bit differently. One is, I believe, 16 megahertz, and another one is like 44. And then the other thing was Ustream, and Ustream picks up whatever unit, whatever's plugged into the unit, so you're good to go there. I'm going to now switch from my lapel mic. In fact, I think what I'll do here is I'll walk far enough away so now you can see me in the background, kind of way back here, and I'm a little bit on the dark side, but you can tell that the microphone is picking up well. And this is great for interviews. So let's say I have the tab set up where it's facing me and maybe my co-host or somebody that I'm doing a little bit of interview with. And this way we can have a microphone that I can be talking into, and then I can go ahead and hold it right back into somebody else's face there and pick up their audio and then bring it back to myself. So a lot of flexibility, a lot of freedom now that we know that we can actually use an external microphone. This is just a great thing. I'm going to switch over to a different lapel mic. I have a small one here. I'm going to put this steroid mic down. This is a little tiny one that I have that comes with my Olympus digital recorder. So I'm going to clip that back on here, and I'm going to switch between the steroid mic and my little tiny one. So now what you're picking up is the audio from my tiny lapel mic, and we'll tap that here so you can hear. And you can kind of tell the difference. And this one has kind of like the best of both worlds is what it is. It's got good clarity, a little bit of deepness in the bass there, just enough for good quality. I like this one. But for the steroid mic, that's actually not too bad, especially if you're outdoors and you want to have a little bit of coverage from the wind and things like that. So you now have truth to the rumor that the Galaxy Tab does support an external microphone. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few minutes and I'm going to show you some more nifty little things here. As I mentioned earlier, when I'm doing recordings, especially with that long microphone, in fact, I want to kind of mention something else to you, is that when I'm doing Ustream on my laptop, I will actually use two of those lapel mics, and one will be hooked to myself and one will be hooked to my co-host or whomever's with me on my side, and I'll use a little adapter here that allows you to plug two and go to one. And when I have two of these lapel mics hooked up, the steroid mics, it works out just fine. They seem to be balanced pretty well. They both come in the same. There's no change in recording level. It works really well. So there's another option for you to go out and get a monaural 2-into-1, and that'll accept two plugs, and basically that's two jacks into one plug. So there's another little feature for you. So grab two of those microphones if you can. Here's what I've got set up. What I do is I've got basically and it's going to be difficult to show you here, I've got a monopod that'll go about 70 inches in the air. So when I'm standing here, and I'm about 5'10", this thing will be way above my head and easily above the crowd, that if I happen to be in kind of like a public open space doing a video, and I don't have to worry about people blocking my view. And now with the unit supporting an external microphone, it's a great thing. This particular monopod is an MX450 put out by OSN. And then what I did is from Sam Goody Music Center is I simply went down and got myself a microphone setup. This actually supports 3 microphones, and put together a couple of clips, microphone clips, and attached them to this. And then you just simply take off the end of the cap that comes on your monopod, and you can just attach that right on there and you're good to go. The screw on this is really low profile, so you can only put one layer of a connection on here, but we can get a standoff to change that, which is what we're going to do. But essentially what I do is I put my tab in the Rhino case, and then I clip it right onto here, and I simply just walk around and do my recording, which is a great thing. And now that I've got that external mic, I'm really good to go. So let's see, what's another great thing? How about speakers? I'll try to keep this video pretty short. I'm on 16 minutes, and I think YouTube does 20. External speakers, Bluetooth speakers. I've tried several of them. There's Logitech that's out there. They've got the little brick one. There's the little round ones that are out there. All of them are so-so. I've got Bose portable speaker, Bluetooth speaker, which is that square one, and it works pretty darn decent. It's about 70% of what the Wave radio produces, so it's a nice little portable speaker. Does well. But sometimes you want something smaller. And what I'm going to suggest to you that I found in my tests that work really well, produces a good sound, is this little guy here, which is your iHome cylindrical speaker. And it makes sense that you're going to get better bass out of this little fella. Comes with a little back foot on here. Allows you to connect, if you're not going to use the Bluetooth feature on here, allows you to connect in to a manual 3.5 jack using a little cable that it comes with, which is right here. And this thing provides at least a good 6 hours of run time, and it's great as you're rolling down the road and you want to listen to maybe a quick little recording, or you're streaming some kind of meeting or something like that. If you can't connect into your stereo system in your car, then this is a great alternative, and it produces a nice sound. I picked this up, and don't get mad. I picked it up for 24 bucks. They're generally they started out at going for 60, and then they dropped to about $49 now. But over Christmas time, I was able to locate one Target that had a kind of a closeout. And picked one up, called them back a day later and said, do you have any more? And they said, no, we don't, but we have some others. But it turns out that all Target locations kind of work a little differently. And so at the alternate Target location, the price went back up to 49 bucks, so I got kind of lucky on the find on this. So $24.99, and I'm thoroughly happy with it. And if I did want another one, I wouldn't mind paying the extra price, because I know that I'm getting a good unit. Okay, final little toy. How about an external Bluetooth keyboard? There's lots of them that are out there. I don't like the rubber ones. I like a more tactile feel. And so what I ended up finding at Fry's Electronics is one that's put out by Azio, A-Z-I-O. And this is a little tactile Bluetooth keyboard. And it takes 2 AAA batteries. It's got a reset button on the back, and then your on-off switch. And when you flip it on, just like you do any other keyboard, the tab comes up and tells you to use the swipe keyboard character layout. And what I have found in testing is that the firmware of all your external keyboards kind of vary. Some support all the characters, some don't, and what you have to do is just contact the manufacturer and let them know some of the troubles that you're having, and maybe they'll help you out in getting you a revision or replace the keyboard with something that corrects kind of your issues. I have a little problem using the greater and the lesser arrow symbols on this. But you can always switch the keyboard back to the Samsung keyboard, even though it wants to automatically switch it to the swipe. So you can switch that back. So there you have it. There's some fun stuff there. That keyboard ran me about 40 bucks. Fry's matched the price that was online. And have fun.